Yo, good morning, good morning. How's my chat? Where's my chat at? How's everybody doing? This is Dom. Who's that coming in? Let's see here. Hold on one second. Who we got? Mr. Jason. Jason, add to stage. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Dom. You're back in the dark.
So fun thing about my area right now. So like we live right by a mountain in like east of Los Angeles, and we're experiencing record high winds these yesterday and today. And so we're in a blackout right now. We lost power at about bedtime, about 8:45. It was quite the freak out session. The whole neighborhood's out. So yeah, I'm in the car, which has a little bit of power, so I'm able to charge my phone. But I'm trying to figure out if I want to uh, open the garage manually and take this thing to get it fully charged at like a charger. Because I know like the entire neighborhood, like just our little suburb is just like mostly out, but like the rest of like the city nearby is fine.
Is that what they call the Santa Ana winds? Or is
I
that something?
don't
I know.
I don't know. I don't
Here's what I
think
know about.
so.
Sorry, explain.
I don't think so,
Oh, okay.
but I'm not sure.
Here's what I know about winds. Like most wind systems are named after, is it Indian tribes
Hmm.
or something? Like we have the Chinook winds that happen along the Front Range that are very similar. They're not very often, but it gets pretty. I don't.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like to the level that you guys get. Um,
Yeah, I
but
think they've been like
best of luck to you.
40 to 50 miles an hour with gusts up to like 60, 65 and stuff like that. It just we have like old windows, so it just like you can almost feel the wind going through the house. Um the trees and everything are just like looks like they're almost horizontal at times when the wind is blowing so hard. Um, it's pretty common to see like trash cans like down the street in different neighborhoods and stuff like that out here. But yeah, we haven't had it this bad, so this is probably the worst.
Isn't that 50 to 60? Isn't that like hurricane force winds?
I think it's close. I mean, we got a bunch of like red flag warnings all throughout like Los Angeles and South Bay like yesterday, like even when I was at work, we were getting like the alarms and stuff like that, and I'd go outside and we're like sun's out, light wind at the beach, stuff like that. But yeah, it did step up a little bit. And then when I was driving home yesterday, there were a couple of different cities that were just covered in brown because like all the dust that was getting kicked up off the mountain was just it just looked like clouds of brown. I hadn't seen that before, like you could tell like smoke clouds versus fog clouds, and then this was a new one, was like a brown cloud. So it was very interesting.
Yeah. We've had similar. Well, do these windstorms bring about any gratitudes for today?
Well, for me, I'm grateful. Like I knew this was coming, and like my wife was like, kind of in this situation like, well, don't come out, like you don't need to come back if you don't want to. And I'm like, no, I told you guys I'll come back, and like so I'm glad I did, because like obviously we weren't planning on having a blackout, but I was able to, do my best to calm them down at bedtime, find some of our like little camp lights that ran on batteries and put those around the house, and find the backup charger that we never really use, and my wife was able to use that through the night. So yeah, grateful to be home and to be here for the family, because the power's not on and they're about to wake up, so it's going to be a and it's still dark. Sunrise isn't gonna, like, they wake up and I think sunrise is still 20, 30, 45 minutes, so they're gonna wake up in the dark.
Do the Uh, does the wind ever destroy any of your work sites at all? Like, is there any ever damage or not really?
Yeah. Yeah, we can get some damage. Like right now my job site has like tarps on the scaffolding, so like that can easily, cause problems. Like I said, I don't think it's that bad where work is. It's up here because we're just like right up, like we're the base of a mountain, and so it just rolls straight down and into our backyard. Um, I'm curious about school. Uh, but I can't imagine the schools don't have, power and backup. And like the girls' schools are a little bit out of the neighborhood, so I think they're fine. It's my son's school. I'm curious if my wife's gotten any text messages about extreme weather and not going to school or anything like that.
Mhm.
So we'll find out.
Um, Mine is totally not wind related. We did have snow yesterday, and it was
Nice.
heavy. It was like we woke up to snow. It was snowing enough where I was kind of wondering why they didn't call off school. There was only like 2 inches. I guess it was fine.
Yeah.
Um, I had my daughter in my classroom for the first time ever,
Oh,
which was
that's
cool. I enjoyed it. I know there's other teacher parents that like don't want anything to do with their kid in school,
yeah.
but I thought it was nice. I thought it was like a nice little summation of my or a bookmark in my teaching career to have one of my kids in my classroom.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a forever thing, like, and it's going to be an interesting dynamic for the. So is she with you for a while? Like months, the trimester, semester,
Quarter.
quarter? Okay.
She's in
So it's
sixth
not
grade, so it's every other day. Um,
every other day. Okay.
but it's I don't know. It's like I've been in the school system for 11 years, and I student taught at her elementary school when I had to do elementary student teaching. So the guy who was the art teacher at her school, he was my co-teacher, and then he taught my kid, and then now I'm teaching my kid. So it's all a very nice circle, and I'm really
Yeah,
very pleased with how that portion of my life played out.
that's awesome.
If only the other portions could play out that nicely.
Yeah. Well, give you a good chance to follow up on the reading with her and show her in how you are in a different setting, how you embody your values that you speak to her at home, how different of a person you are or the same of a person you are in the classroom.
So I'm
Just
glad you
show.
brought that up because I did the reading earlier, like not more than 10 minutes ago because I didn't do it last night. And whenever I think about values, it's like I know we have values, but it's when I think about it initially, I always find it kind of hard to put it to words, you know? Like yeah, there's like be a nice person and treat others with respect and stand up for yourself. But
Hmm.
I guess one of those would be is like when I start a new class, is I explain why I teach because I like kids to know why am I in the school? Why do I do what I do? So she got to kind of hear, why I feel like being creative is important and how we develop, and everybody sucks at first. Doesn't matter what age you're at. So I would say, I guess the vow that I got to share yesterday was like the importance of creative thinking and being able to develop your ideas in various ways.
Yeah,
So
that's
thanks
awesome.
for that reminder.
No, I mean, like I
Um,
said, you're getting a taste of you're getting a like this month we know is like about teaching, right, and stuff like that. So you're getting to do it in your element with your kid, like as opposed to like normally, right, you're a teacher all the time and you're teaching other people's kids, but and you're just at home and it feels like, you're trying to teach her, but like at the same time you have that different dynamic of parent when you're home. versus at the school. I'm sure it's a little bit different of the dynamic. Like I know, I know from my side of being not a teacher that sometimes I feel like it's hard to teach my kids when, and it's, and teachers can do it because they like A, have the training, B, have the experience, C, they have like the setting of the classroom, like there's rules. There's not like a TV or a pantry of Cheetos or a room where the kids can go like run off and hide to. Like it's like this is what you're here to do. So we're gonna, do that. And obviously kids can rebel and not listen or pay attention or goof off. But yeah, it's an interesting dynamic to have your daughter in it.
Yeah. The thing also, I want to acknowledge we have a new listener today, Lady
See
Jules
that?
Elon, who's one of my great friends from college. Um,
Hello.
she's jumping on this morning. Awesome person all around. Probably the most awesome person ever. Welcome, Jules. Glad you're listening. I was going to say, what did you say? Oh, yeah. I am interested. So far, her class, like the class she's in, is pretty cool. I'm wondering what it looks like when when I may have to like drop the hammer. Like there's always like one time in each class, one time where I have to like drop the hammer on kids,
Mm-hmm.
the velvet hammer of justice. That's probably going to be something that she has not seen before.
Oh,
Because I
okay.
don't really yell at home, and I really don't yell at school. But they're just like, there's always one day where like kids are just nuts, where I just have to like bring it down on them. So we'll see.
That'll be interesting. So every quarter you get a real or a new crop of students like per class or whatever. But like most of these kids you see, like like will you see her again, or is that just like you just gonna have her this quarter and then it's up to random chance? Just get the option.
Sixth grade is kind of different. Sixth graders at our school, I teach sixth, seven, eighth. Sixth graders they do all of the electives,
They choose
and
them, right?
seventh and eighth graders get to choose electives.
Okay.
So I may have her quarter four. I may not. We'll see. I always
Okay.
tell her that she does not have to be in my class just because I'm her dad.
But you're the art. Like, so if a kid chooses art as an elective, like it'll be you, or is there other teachers?
No, I am the only visual arts
Got it.
teacher.
So if she gets into seventh and eighth grade and she wants to choose it,
Yes.
she knows that she's A, wanting to choose it, and B, she's wanting to choose you as her teacher.
Correct.
So that'll mean you've
I'm her only option for art.
yeah. Well, Ed, you're her dad. I'm just like really curious about that dynamic because like I think I'd be in the place of like, nah, I would not want to be in a class with my parents.
It's like I want to teach art, but I don't want to hang out with my dad.
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
take her.
Like I really do like art. That would be a funny little situation between you guys
Yeah.
potentially next year.
What would you say the value that you feel like you embody for your kids the most is?
Ooh, yeah. So
And I don't
right
know the
now,
answer. That's why I'm
yeah,
asking first.
yep. Good move, dude. Uh, I think right now one of the ones I'm trying to work on is definitely like consistency. Putting my routine together and sticking through it and, a lot of that. The other one I am working on this year is my confidence, my like bravery, if you would call it, like to actually put myself out there and be seen, doing the things that I'm doing. This is obviously one way. I've started to ramp up like putting everything that I'm doing on Instagram and, different socials and connecting that to my old school Facebook account and that I don't use anymore. So I'm working on stuff like that. And then, there are the subsets of like, practicing gratitude every day, practicing, the stoicism. So working through the different lessons there. So those are where my values I think are leading. And the other big one is quality time, like relationships, like focusing on like supporting other people, being with other people, like actually like being there, paying attention, like not just like being in the same room, quality conversations and that kind of stuff. So I've really been trying to like put a little focus on that and get them to focus on that as well. Like when it comes to like asking them questions about their friends, that they tell like they tell me about their friends, and I'm like, well, what do you know about her? Like, how could you get more information? Like, do you ask questions? Like, do you want to invite her over? Like those kind of things.
Yeah, I'm kind of on board with that. Sometimes I feel like when I'm, maybe you're the same way. Sometimes I feel like when I'm doing something that the kids want to see, sometimes I feel the urge to like vocalize that and like, but I don't know how to not make it awkward. It's like, do you see how I'm doing? Do you see how I'm hanging out with your mom? I hope
Yeah,
someday that you find a partner like that. And
yeah,
that's not how I want to present it, but it's like something one thing I've been trying to focus on is like being around just in the space present more. And like
yeah.
part of that is like, good morning, Blaze. Um, Part of that is having the girls see like me and mom hanging out, just being together. Because like I guess my default is like I come home, sit down for a bit, and then this particular like week or time of the year, it's like I come home and I'm still kind of in that planning stage where I'm like my head's in school, so I come home and I'm kind of polishing up the rest of the days for like the next week or so in planning and kind of finding that I'm good. Like I know what I'm doing. I just like it's the anxiety still comes in, but it's like I'm not saying that I roll into the day not knowing what I'm doing, but it's like I have a general flow that my students are used to, and a lot of the times my time in the morning, like this time and like driving in, it's like I can make a plan that I mean, it's all that I've everything that I've done before, and it always goes great. That doesn't mean I
Yes.
don't plan. I don't mean to say that I'm procrastinating. Sometimes I do, but um, the thought is, it's like, what can I put off till later so I can be present now?
What's going on, Blaze? How you doing?
We're doing okay. I didn't sip my coffee at Tim Hortons until just now, and it is cold. They gave me a cold cup of coffee.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So you're going back to
No, I'm
throw it
just
in their face and give them a piece of your mind.
gonna go warm it up at work, but
I assume that's a bummer for people who drink coffee, and all I have to say is that's on you for drinking coffee because the Celsius is always cold.
I have some in my trunk. Maybe I'll just skip to that. But
How's your morning, man?
we're doing okay. I a lot of drama with the pizza pets today, and the boys. The 3-year-old just annoys the piss out of the 6-year-old, and then I'm constantly telling him, "Leave your brother alone," and then he goes really cutely, "Well, he's my best friend."
Oh man.
And then I'm like, I don't think he feels that way, but I think that's really endearing. Um, so that's what I was dealing with today.
Yeah. Well, so that's adorable, and like that's I'll tell you, it's different in my house. My 5-year-old annoys the piss out of my 12-year-old, and then he's like, I hate her, and she's like, I hate you. Like, so, and I'm sitting there going, no, you guys are actually annoying each other because you want to because you love each other and you want to play with each other. And the younger one, he emulizes you, so he like wants to sit there and play your game, but like you find it annoying that you have to teach him how to do it. Like you don't hate each other. That's a very strong word,
Oh man.
but that word is running through our house like crazy right now. So
I'm trying to think what words running through our house. Probably, I don't know. Potty's fresh in my mind just because everyone's trying to get Brody on the potty. So that's where we're at. Oh, but did you give a fires update? LA fire update?
where's that?
Isn't there fires around you?
Oh yeah, not like quite around me because I'm in the opposite direction. So, but it's like you can see it from where I work. I didn't see it. I got some pictures of it after I'd already left and gone home. But so I'm south of LAX and south of Los Angeles where I work, and then I'm east of Los Angeles where I live. But west of Los Angeles, I think there's some fires in Malibu, the Malibu like hills area that are pretty crazy. Um, so I barely heard about it. I had already left town, so I haven't actually checked in. And then if you weren't here for the part of the conversation, but at bedtime last night about 8:45, our house in our neighborhood went into a blackout. So I'm in pitch black right now.
Oh,
So yeah, waiting for sunrise so we can get a little Mother Nature light and go back to somewhat normal life.
there you go.
But I am worried that my Celsius stash is getting less and less cold by the minute. So
Oh, well, mine's in my trunk and it's cold.
I was gonna say I could just put it outside.
Warm
because I think
Celsius is just as unsatisfying to me as cold coffee. It's cold outside.
You're pretty
And
right.
I was rushing, and I know I have iced coffee. It's cold coffee. it's like it's. I mean, I'll drink it. Like I will not let cold coffee go away, but I need warmth right now.
I have a friend that boils their Celsius and drinks it like tea. Have you ever tried that?
The what?
Ooh.
Like
Say it again, please.
like boiling the Celsius and like drinking it like tea.
No, that sounds gross.
I've
But
never heard of that.
I'll try it. Sounds gross though.
what else?
Please, what we're talking about our reading today. One thing that I was trying to put into words that Dom helped me put into words is what are some values that you feel like you embody for your kids,
Or you try to embody.
or try to embody? Yeah.
I think compassion. I'd say compassion. Be. I'm trying to think what being a good friend is: loving, caring, compassionate.
Yeah.
And then what do I need to work on? Like, what values am I working on for myself? Like, not being hot-headed, patience. Are probably the two biggest ones.
Did you answer yours, Jason?
Yeah, mine was when I referenced I was able to kind of explain my teaching methodology to Kira in my class, developing creativity like a muscle, just like we work on our bodies, or just like we work on math, just a skill we develop over time. Not something we're born with. Compassion's in there like that.
Have you seen my sweet art on Instagram or anything like that? Have you seen any of it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I feel bad for you having not seen my sweet art.
I'd love to see it.
I did this one yesterday. Tell me, I want to know if anyone remembers this, because this I don't know how this popped up into my head. Actually, I do. I was in a Discord and I saw someone drawing monsters, and this popped into my head. But do you remember this? Do you remember these three?
I don't remember it. That looks very Tim Burton-ish.
It was a show on Nickelodeon called Aw, Real
Oh,
Monsters.
Yes. Ooh, right in the nostalgia feels. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. Like I just like I saw these monsters that someone drew, and I was like, monsters. And I just typed it into Google, picture popped up, and like it like flashback like straight to my childhood, and I just like lost myself for like I was charging the car before going home, and I think the car charge was like 30 minutes, and it just got lost for an hour just drawing these things like and then I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get home. Like I'm late.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Around that same time, I was never into that. Like I knew what it was. I think that was around maybe a little bit earlier. My big cartoon that I got into, I feel like too early to understand it, was on MTV, on Liquid Television. It was called The Max, Maxx, big purple guy with like a mask. Do you remember that at all?
No, I never heard of that one.
It was like pure 90s grunge animation, and like I loved it. And that I think that was one of the things that actually like kind of seeped into my own personal aesthetic for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those early cartoons, love it. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I don't feel great about characters and stuff like that. I mostly draw like line type of art. Or I call it art, but that's kind of like more my style. So it's more like this kind of stuff, where it's just like
Ooh.
lines and
Build that
shapes, lines and shapes and stuff like that. So, and like that's why like our friend in the V Friends community, I Ben Kind, like his art, I really love that stuff. So sometimes I practice his stuff.
Yeah, Dom, we're kind of like exact opposites, because I do that same, like almost that kind of like same abstract style, but I work more like in the less geometric, more organic.
Yeah.
Where I just kind of like build shapes upon shapes.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of the styles that I like working in.
Yeah, the less organic, like the more like I said, like character, scenery, and stuff like that. Like I just get in my own head, like about how to make it, and I haven't figured out like dimensions and shading and stuff like that. So I think. Well,
No,
it went down that way, I guess. So that's why I kind of stick with I tend to go more towards the lines, geometry and stuff like that, and that's one of geometry and squares and right angles and stuff like that is a lot on what I like.
Yeah.
Also easier, right? So I'm trying to push myself to do different things and get more practice in it is what I'm going to do. So I'm just doing a little bit of art every day.
Also a good practice, a good daily practice.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. We hit the top of the hour. Any last words, Mr. Jason?
I really enjoyed talking to you. This was a good way to start the day.
I 100% agree. I mean, I woke up like super tired and a little sore and still in a blackout, like not knowing what my phone battery would be. And then I get a text message from Ryan saying like, hey, I'm busy. Can someone handle it? And I'm like, well, I could easily give some excuses and not handle it. But it really is like the enjoyment of my morning. Like I've actually been like chatting with ChatGPT about like my morning routine and my schedule and how to like fit it all in and like what I say what it can recommend for me.
You can give him a name. That's
Yeah, and when it asked me like what my non-negotiables are, I did put in yesterday. I did put in my journaling and my daily dad call. So like I know you've expressed it a lot. that these are powerful. Like they're fun, they're emotional, they're like camaraderie, like all the things that you want and that I would love to teach my kids. Like I get it all out of these like 30 minutes. And it really does set up my day.
Yeah, same. I wouldn't feel the same if I wasn't doing these. If I don't get my workout in, but I do get this in, I'll be pretty good for the day.
Yeah. Well,
So,
like David here said, mugs full of Celsius and hearts full of love.
yeah.
Thank you guys for coming. We'll see you guys around. Have a good day. I hope the lights turn on.
Outro music.
I don't know that I can do that.
I'll figure it out later. I gotta go start the routine. There we go. All right, see you guys.